YouTube. Now today, people, wasting no time, this is another Pokemon Gen 8 starter Pokemon breakdown, or starter Pokemon analysis, or starter Pokemon theory, however you want to say it. But we're going to be diving in depth into the 3 generation starter Pokemon that we will be presented with at the beginning of the Galar region when we first initiate the game on the Pokemon Switch. You will be presented with either the grass starter Grookey, you will be presented with Scorbunny the fire starter, or Sobble the water starter. Now, when you look at these 3 Pokemon, you're looking at a monkey, a bunny, and some sort of reptile. It doesn't really matter how you spin it, but that's what it is. Personal opinion, between the crest on the top of his head and his curled tail, he's more reminiscent of a chameleon, but at the same time, just for aesthetic purposes, he's probably going to be a salamander. Scorbunny, he's going to be the rabbit from the Chinese zodiac. I don't understand how people still defute this. There's so many of the starters, literally all the other starters are a part of the Chinese zodiac. And then of course you got the monkey starter. He's a monkey. Okay, we've seen this before, it's been done before, but you know, first monkey for grass starters. Now there's potentially 3 different avenues that you could travel when it comes to starter Pokemon and their typings, okay? Because that's really what I wanted to dive into when it comes to these typings. Their final stage of evolutions, like I said, 3 different avenues. The first avenue is probably my most preferred avenue because it's only been done one other time in like the starter trio generation from previous generations. And so when it comes to previous generation starter Pokemon and the current generation that we have in terms of what is going to be theorized and speculated upon as we move forward and as more information is released. So the first potential candidate and my preferred candidate is that we go back to just pure monotype starter Pokemon. Okay, it's only been done one other time in previous generations, and because of this, it's underused. Every other generation in terms of final stage Pokemon have been dual typings. I mean, they'll have like one of them usually be monotypings, but for the most part, all of them have dual typings. I think it'd just be a good change of pace to just have all of these starters, Grookey, Scorbunny, and Sobble, be pure mono type starters from start to finish, just like in Gen 2 when we had Cyndaquil, Chikorita, and Totodile. It just is a pleasing aesthetic. It's very simple, very straightforward, and it's a change of pace from everything that we've had. Possible option that we have is something along the lines that we saw in Generation 6 with the starters. Not only did their primary typings, water, grass, fire, water beats fire, fire beats grass, and grass beats water, their secondary typings also did the exact same thing. The secondary typings beat out the next in that same reciprocating faction. So you had the water dark starter beat out the fire psychic starter. The fire psychic starter beat out the grass fighting starter, beat out the water dark starter. That is the only generation that we have where all 3 Pokemon follow the secondary monotyping effect. Every other generation, it might be here, it might be there, but nonetheless, it never did it completely. The Generation 6 was the first generation that introduced something like that. So if they're not pure mono starter Pokemon and they follow that secondary typing that I just named when it comes to the Generation 6 starters, there isn't a lot of possibilities that could really become from that makes sense, okay? And it's going to be something similar to the Generation 6, if not identical to Generation 6, but I tried to give it like something a little bit different based off of the information that we have from the trailer for the Generation 8 for the Galar region for, you know, Pokemon Sword and Pokemon Shield. If it followed that Generation 6 formula, the typings are going to look something like this. You're going to have Grookey's final evolution be Grass Dark. You're going to have Sobble's final evolution be Water Ghost. And you're going to have Scorbunny's final evolution be Firefighting. I know. We don't need another firefighting Pokemon. We don't even need another fighting starter at all because it's just been saturated in generations. If you think about it, not the last, but for 4 generations straight, we had a fighting starter Pokemon. Gen 3 Blaziken, firefighting. Gen 4 Infernape, firefighting. Gen 5 Emboar, firefighting. Gen 6 Chespin, grass fighting. We don't need any more fighting types. I'm just saying, if they want to follow that reciprocating fashion and not make one Pokemon less significant than the other Pokemon in terms of starters, that's the formula they're gonna have to follow. And in all actuality, Sabo could still be a water psychic and that pattern still follow, because dark beats psychic, psychics beat fighting, fighting beats dark. But on the flip side, dark could also beat ghost, ghost could beat fighting, and fighting beat dark. I mean, it's really the only formula that's gonna work outside of giving someone an OP disadvantage. But now on to the third possibility, and my personal favorite of the possibilities outside of the mono starters, because I would prefer, if not mono, then this formula that I'm about to name you, I would like to have this become a thing. They just completely abandon all of that rhyme or reason and just give us dope starter Pokemon, because I think at the end of the day, that's what we all want. We want just dope starter Pokemon. And if they follow this formula that I'm about to name, we are going to be doing something extremely well in the Pokemon community. And based off of what we've seen from the trailers, this might be the better of the possibilities, the more likely, not better, but the more likely of the possibilities that we're going to get moving forward. Now, in the trailer, a lot of things have debuted, and we have seen something very significant within the community. Now, you look at things like this, and let's start with Grookey. He's beating on a rock. This is nothing new. Everyone has said it in their Pokemon videos. I'm just repeating what I've heard and repeating what I've seen and what makes the most sense moving forward. We're going to be looking at something like a grass rock final evolution for Grookey. Now for Sabo, well, let me start with Scorbunny. Fire Electric seems to be what we're getting. But this is the problem that I see with him being Fire Electric that I haven't heard anyone else talk about. If this is these are the starter Pokemon. If you have a Pokemon that's Fire Electric, he beats the grass starter and the water starter in their final evolutionary form. You know, you have your rival that travels with you. If you have a Fire Electric Pokemon, by the time you battle him right before you go into the Elite Four, it happens every Pokemon game. If you have a Fire Electric Pokemon, you one-shot him. And for the fire Pokemon, you know, theme, they've always been glass cannons, right? High attack, high speed. Usually, right? Charizard, high attack, high speed. Gen 3, Blaziken, glass cannon, high attack, high speed. Infernape, high attack, high speed. Skip Enbor, skip Delphox. What the fuck was in the Litten, high attack, high speed. So, if Scorbunny's final evolution is Fire Lightning, he in turn his Fire Electric typing beats out the water type Pokemon Sabo. It's still super effective damage. There's really no way around it. But nonetheless, to reiterate, Grass Rock for Grookey's final evolution, Fire Electric for Scorbunny's final evolution. And then what we have left, I'm impartial. I'm gonna be honest with you, because on one end he's a reptile, and I want him to be Water Dragon. I really do want him to be Water Dragon. But from the debut, it's looking like Water Psychic. And the reason I say Water Psychic, now I know a lot of people said Water Ghost or Water Psychic, but you know, realistically, this is nothing new that we've seen in terms of water Pokemon becoming invisible. No one has mentioned that time in the anime where, I forgot what's her name, the Vaporeon. The Vaporeon, their vaporize ability is essentially what we saw Sabo do. When they get into a body of water, they're able to make their body water. That's kind of not what we saw from Sabo. He was just kind of invisible. Now, both Ghost and Psychic types have demonstrated that ability to become invisible, but it is more apparent in the anime that we see Psychic type Pokemons become invisible. Latios and Latias for all you old heads. The Lake Trio from the Sinnoh region had the ability to become invisible. Mew can go invisible. Victini can go invisible. It seems like this is just something Psychic type Pokemons can do. Now, those are also legendary Pokemons. Ghost Pokemons like Ghastly and, you know, Shuppet can also become invisible, but we've seen more from the Psychic type Pokemons in becoming invisible. Have all the water Pokemon been reptiles up until this point? Yes, minus Empoleon and Samurott and that seal, whatever its name was. Okay, I lied. Not every water style. Nexus, what are you saying? Not every water type starter Pokemon has been a reptile. So I don't see this Pokemon, and I'm just coming to a conclusion right now while recording. I'm going to leave it in. I don't see Sobble being a water dragon type. I think this is really going to be a water psychic type Pokemon. We haven't had a water psychic type Pokemon yet. Why is it crying? Could it be dead? I don't think so. Water psychic type. I'm gonna go with that because there's been more psychic type Pokemon that have demonstrated the invisible ability than there has been ghost type Pokemons thus far. Even Dusknoir. I mean, look, I don't know what to tell you. I'm looking at the listing for Pokemon, and it just seems more plausible that it's going to be water psychic than anything else. So if they're not monotypes, just to sum up everything I've said, in case you've watched this video all the way to this point, my final thoughts in a nutshell: if the starter Pokemon are not pure monotype starters, meaning one typing, then the preferred dual typings that I would like to see would be grass rock, water psychic, fire electric, if not water ground. I know, I'm fickle. Sue me, I don't care. But that's all I got for y'all today on this video. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like the video, comment on the video, tell me what starter you're going to start with, tell me your thoughts on the starter type Pokemon. This is from the first trailer that they have debuted. We know from previous generations they're going to continue to release trailers for us to watch. That is all I have to say. So like always, keep it safe, wrap it tight. I'm out.